Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode here on our Minecraft 1.15.2 Survival Let's Play series with me, Kaizen, and today we are looking at how to get Mending Villagers. Now just to say, if you guys are looking for a super easy villager breeding system, I do have a tutorial video on that down in the description. There will be a link. It's a very useful villager breeder to build. Today we're not doing that, we're actually just going to get some villagers over here and trap them, and I'll kind of go into everything we're doing with that very soon, but it's going to be all about getting those mending villagers. Now if you like Minecraft tutorials and if you like this Minecraft Let's Play series, please do consider liking and subscribing. It really is greatly appreciated. But for now, let's jump straight into today's video and get on with those mending villagers. So the first thing you're going to want to do is know exactly where you want your mending villager, or whatever villager it is that you're trying to get, where you want that person to live. So I've built a little house here. We've got them for the acacia roof. The reason for that is so it stands out. You'll see with my build there with the pyramid, and also the build I did in the previous episode there with my storage room, we've gone for a lot of the traditional sort of wood type colours. This one I want to stand out because it's going to be different. We're going to have a village built throughout this island, or this section of the island here, where we put all of our villagers for different things. So for example, I want, a silk touch, unbreaking 3, all that sort of stuff, villagers eventually. Now this is going to be a blacksmith right here, so it's built near the water over here, going behind it, and we're going to put our mending villager inside here. Now don't get me wrong, this build is far from finished. I just built the basic framework. We'll do some of the decorating together on camera, but in terms of the roof and the general layout, it's very similar to the episode I did before, so I thought I'd spare you guys watching that again. But we're going to get our mending villager into here. This, by the way, is going to be a fireplace with a chimney and stuff eventually. I thought for a blacksmith we want to have that smoke. And we're going to have a little area in here where we trap the villager so we can come back and get the trade anytime we want. So more on that a little bit later. But obviously the first thing that we're going to need to do is know where our villagers are coming from. So if you want to do that, you obviously will need a village. Now, if you're looking to find villages, there are sort of tutorial videos out there on how you can do that. But basically my advice would be you can explore deserts, I generally find, and plains are the two sort of easiest ways to explore to find yourself a village. Now, I know for a fact I've got a village over there. So what we're going to do now is go get ourselves a villager and bring them back over here. And I'll go through some of the other things that are important if you want to get yourself that mending villager. So obviously, guys, finding a village is quite an important part of this process so you can get the villagers. Now, if you're like me, you live on an island, you're going to do water transport to get your villager to the island. You're going to want a boat and get them in the boat and get them to the water. So I'm lucky that this village is also quite near the water. If you are in a landlocked area, then you might want to consider using minecarts instead. What I'm going to do, guys, is put on screen right now a quick little video showing you how you can very easily get a villager into a minecart. Okay, guys, so to get a villager into a minecart, it's actually not too difficult. You do want to trap them, as I have here, and you can use any blocks you like. I'm just using glass, so it's a bit easier to see for the tutorial. Here's an overview of what it looks like, but essentially just make sure that these two blocks here and these two blocks here that you see in stone are solid blocks for the system to work. You then want to place down a powered rail, followed by a normal rail, a block here, 2 there, and another one there, and connect this all up with rail. So you'll have something that looks like this, and you want to power the powered rail. Now this will of course go across then and connect up with your rail cart system to get the villager off to wherever it is you want them to go. So if I place the the minecart down on top of the powered rail, you'll see it goes back and forth like this. However, because of momentum in Minecraft, if I were to jump in this myself, once we get down here and we get shot back up, we will go over the other side. So it's kind of weird, it's heavier, but it's kind of work in that way in Minecraft. So it's the same thing for the villager. Now how we get it in there, you want to place down a water bucket in here like this, get rid of these temporary blocks, and it will get pushed into this corner, and eventually it will get picked up through that corner. There we go, doesn't take long, and it goes off on its way. So that is the very simple system to get villagers there into minecarts. And of course, if you connect this up to like a villager breeder or something, you can do it with unlimited. Now again, I do cover that in the villager breeder tutorial that is down in the description in a lot more detail. So guys, that's it, just a very quick one. Let's get back to the episode and see how we're going to do it using boats. Okay, so for those of you that are still with me, you want to find yourself a villager obviously and get them into a boat. Now this can be tricky and take some time. Or you might get lucky, it depends. So we're going to put it down here, and oh look at that, there we go, we pushed him in, he's in the boat, and now of course we can maneuver him down. Now, this can be the tricky bit. So right here, for example, because we've got this grass stuff here, it's technically lower than this grass right here. It doesn't want to go off the edge. If we get rid of these couple of blocks here, we should now be fine to go down. And obviously our goal is to get them to the water. And again here, it's also lower than sand. So sometimes this garden path can be a bit of a problem in villages and slow you down. But you just destroy it like I'm doing right here. And we'll find our way through to get ourselves down to the water. Obviously, once you're in the water, you're going to go at normal speed with your villager. So we're now ready to get this guy to his new house. He's super excited. Look at him. He cannot wait to get to his new house. You can tell. So we're going to head back to our island, which is just here. But actually, we want to go around the other side to get close to where we want the villager to go. So you do, when you're building a little house for the villager to live in, want to think about exactly how you're going to get them there. Once you've got them in the boat, once you get, or the minecart, if you did it that way, once you get there, how are you going to get them in? So what we're going to do is go around to near where we want them to go, and I'll show you what my plan is. So here we are back at where I want my villagers to go, at this blacksmith that we've built here. And I made a little bit of a gap here, but I'm going to make this actually too wide. Now you could, if you wanted, use the minecart system I just showed you and try to get them into a minecart and get them up that way. What I want to do though is if we just go down here and break the boat, we'll see what the villager does here. But essentially, they'll go up onto the land like this, and they're not going to stay in the water for too long. They're going to come up the land. You see here, he's already coming up. And, you know, I find this generally will happen. They're not going to just stay down there. So once it gets up to the level you need, which for us is this level, you simply get them in a boat again. Now, you see how easy that was? Yes, I got a bit lucky. But to me, it's still going to be a lot quicker to do it that way than to set yourself up a minecart system, you know, like I showed you before, because it is a little bit of a faff to do compared to just that. So now we have our villager here in a boat, roughly where we want it to be. And what we can do now is start designing this room around it. So putting in place exactly how we want the villager to be kept in here, how much freedom we want them to have, and that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is go get some resources now. We're going to get on with the building side of this. If you guys want to skip to just how you actually transfer this guy from being a normal villager or a villager of a different trade to a villager of the trade you want, and how you get them to be mending villagers and that type of thing, there'll be a timestamp in the comments that you can click to so you can skip the build process. So if you want to see that, then go ahead. Let's jump into the build though for those who want to see that. Alrighty, so this is the rough sort of framework we're working with here. Just added a few stone blocks outside just to give a bit of depth to the entrance and make it a little bit more prominent. These are the blocks that we've got here. We've got some lava to play around with, some campfires. I actually already have a fire in here. What I'm going to do with this is have brick blocks going right the way up and have a chimney in the roof. So I'll get on with doing that probably at the end. I've put the villager, he's just outside here for a minute, just chilling. We've got to keep an eye on him in case any zombies come, but right now he is all good. Just gives us some space to work with here. And the flooring, you can see a mixture of cracked stone bricks and stone and cobble and that sort of thing. So this is the basic framework. Now what I'm thinking it would be cool is if we had a bit of a lobby area in here. So I think the way we could do this is to maybe put blocks in here like this and then use some of this. So I've got this iron here like this. Maybe want to go to a second height with that. Yeah, that could be cool. And then we're going to put some of these along the top here. Now what I'm going to do is I think I'll put an iron door in here or something that means that basically the villager is trapped in here. Now that means the villager gets to roam around a bit in here, which I thought could be kind of nice. Now the reason I've gone for a blacksmith is because we're looking to get a mending villager. So mending, you know, blacksmith repair tools, that's kind of my logic there. But if we get something else, like some other trade that would kind of work, we could have 3, 4, maybe even 5 villagers in here in this area. If I stand in the corner, you can see the sort of area we're working with. I think any more than that would be a bit too much. And I do want to sleep because I want to prevent any zombies from killing the villager. Because that would be very sad after we spent the effort to get him over here. So basically that's the thought. We'll have a lobby area here. That way as well, we can also have a wooden door on here. I want a wooden door. I think that's going to look better than having an iron door because it would just look a bit out of place here. Then we've got the lobby and then we come in here. Now, in terms of things we're going to use, so we've got campfires. We're going to look as well, I think cauldrons, get a couple of those going on. So that's why I've got the iron on me. We could also, that's the recipe for a campfire, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. But we could also get a few other things. So a smithing table, I think a couple of those is a good idea. A couple of grindstones as well, maybe a few more of those. Just as little decoration items, as well as the lava as well. And then we'll probably put some water in one of the cauldrons and that sort of thing. So what I'm thinking is we've got this area here. I reckon in this corner over here, we could have quite a nice forge area. So the way I think I want to do that is to probably have some sort of cobble steps or something like that, leading up to what we're going to have as lava in the inside. So actually need to get myself a few cobble steps while we're doing this. Now this episode, what I'm doing, as you're probably noticing, is doing a bit more of the building work on camera. Interested to know from you guys whether you want to see more building on camera or less. So please do leave a comment, let me know, more or less building on camera, guys. And also, obviously, if you have any ideas about things that will look cool in this build, it's always good to hear those too. So I think if we have this like this could be nice. My inventory's getting super clogged right now, but that's okay. Now, if I do it like this, it will of course be flowing the lava a little bit, but I kind of like that because the animation looks pretty cool. Then I think we need something above it just to prevent the villager from walking in. Now, I was wondering how these iron bars would look. It will prevent the villager walking in. You can see here I cannot walk in. I think it looks kind of cool, right? Yeah, I think that could be nice. We'll just leave that there like that. Then we need like a bit of a work area for these guys. Now, of course, this is going to be sort of blocked in. So what I might do is actually bring this guy back in now so I can block him in. And we'll see what we can do around him that way. Because I want to put this wall back in place where he just was over here. There we go. And get a few things in. So I think some cauldrons here would be a good idea. I think a couple in the center here. Something goes wrong, you're going to need some water. So we'll have probably one filled with water, maybe one empty. We'll see how we go. And then in terms of a workstation, let's move this guy over here a little bit. We could do some workstation things along here. So I think what might be good is to have them on a bit of a raised platform. So we'll probably have them just up here like this. This could potentially work. What I might do is get rid of one of these cauldrons and move it and put it maybe here. Yeah, that could be good. We'll see how we go. There's obviously a lot of trial and error with this sort of stuff. And then we can have some slabs down here, maybe instead of doing stairs again, just like this. So we have like a little area here, and then up in the corner here, there's things you can work on. So we have the grindstone. We want a smithing table up here as well. Another thing I want to make, actually, definitely want a craft dimension here, just because you never know when you might need it, but also it looks kind of cool. But I think what we'll do is actually move that to the corner so the grindstone becomes a bit more prominent. And we'll also move this one, and I'll show you why in just a second. So grindstone there, put the smithing table in the middle here, and the fourth workstation will be the stone cutter, because you've got to have one of those, right? It just looks the part in here, I think. So we'll get this moved around so we can place this down in here. Put this up here. And there we go. We've got a little bit of a work area here in which the villagers can walk around. Now, I don't like these cauldrons here. I've changed my mind. So they're going to be moving. So you are on the move again. But now it's so slow using these boats. But at least it works. So we're going to put you over here for a second. There we go. Now, what I'm going to need to do as well is I'm going to do the design. And then we're going to have to get the guy to change jobs, because right now you'll see he is a mason, so that's not going to work out too well. Actually, this could become a bit of a problem. I'll explain why later on in the episode, but we'll cover it. We'll get our Mending Villager, don't you stress. So what we're going to do now is look to replace the cauldrons. I think we can have one here. That would look good. And then we can place one over here, because we've got a few more things that we need to place down anyway. So we want like a couple of these placed down. And we got another smithing table. We'll put that one over here. And maybe we could have gone for another crafting bench here, but it's a bit close to the fire. It looks like a fire hazard to me. So the next thing I'm going to want to do is get some lighting done. So we get some lanterns for that. But yeah, I think this place is starting to take shape. The other thing we need to do, of course, is get a roof on this thing. So we're going to get that sorted out as well. So let me go get a few more resources, and then we'll come back, finish off the build, and soon we'll be getting into the Mending Villager. So a final look around the blacksmith, guys, just looking at a few things we've done here. I probably will do more to the outside of it because it's still quite plain. We've got the chimney going, though, with a strong smoke stream there. If you're wondering how to get a chimney where the smoke stream is that strong when your fireplace is so far underneath, you simply place a second fireplace and a bit further up there. So it's kind of hidden up in there, and then you can have more smoke coming out, which means from a distance when people are looking at the house, you know, it just looks a little bit better than a weak stream. So going inside here, we got this door. I figure this looks the best. And then this is the little system I went for. So we can get in this way like this, but the villager will not be able to get out because they can't open the trap door there. Also, when we go out, we can automatically close it if we forget to do that. And then the villager's definitely trapped in here, which is what we want. Just a little bit of theming going on around here just to make it look kind of nice. Added in all the types of smelters as well. So far, I think it's looking pretty good. But yeah, any design suggestions, please let me know. We went for a stone roof, by the way, like a diorite. When I say stone, I mean just rock. Just to stop the thing catching on fire with all the fire we've got around here. And yeah, just some tools here that have recently been smelted up and made. I think that looked good, hanging above the fireplace there. So that's what we went for. So the design is now, kind of complete for now. So I'll probably add to it and stuff. One final thing to mention, if you make a house like this that you're planning to keep a villager in, make double sure that no mobs can spawn anywhere inside here with the light levels. You can do that, if you don't know, by pressing F3, and you can get the light level for each block. So it's important that you do that, because otherwise zombies could spawn and kill your villager, which obviously is pretty useless. So basically over on the left hand side here, it says that client light tells you what it is for the sky, but the block is the one you're interested in. And if it says 7, a mob can spawn there. So you want them to all be 8 or more. If I walk around here, you'll see that they all are. But anyway, let's now move on to how we actually get the Mending Villager to put in here. So to get a Mending Villager, first thing you're going to need to do is make yourself a lectern, and this is the recipe right here. A bookshelf and 4 slabs, and there is your lectern. Now what you need to do is make sure that this lectern is placed near the villager that you want to turn into a Mending Villager, like this, so it will take that as its job. Now if I right click this guy, you'll see right here, he is a toolsmith right now. So if you have a villager that already has a job, you can change it, providing you haven't traded. So if you do one of these trades, guys, this will lock this villager as a toolsmith forever. And yeah, that's not good if you want a villager that's going to give you mending, because of course you want the librarian profession. So what we need to do is, if that is the case, if it's locked to a different profession, is get rid of whatever block is giving it that profession. So I think it was this smithing table. No, okay. So we're going to have to keep kind of figuring this out until we get it. Maybe it's a grindstone or stone cut. I need to just kind of destroy it all until this guy is done. Let me just do that and figure it out a sec. So the reason that is not currently changing profession is because of the time of day. You'll see the sun there. It's kind of low in the sky. It's going to be setting soon. And villagers will only change jobs during work hours. So what that means is when you're trying to get yourself a Mending Villager, if you're trying to change the guy's profession, you need to do it during the right time of day. So what we're going to do is wait until the sun sets, have a sleep, and then once it's been day for a little while, we'll be able to change this. So I'll come back on camera once that's happened, and we'll talk through the rest of the process. Alrighty, guys. Well, I was having a bit of a problem with this guy changing profession, and in the end what I did, I got him out of the boat, which seemed to help, and got rid of all of the workstations in the vicinity, apart from the lectern, what I've just chucked down here. So we now have a librarian. Now, I'm going to have a look. I don't know what trade it is. If this is mending, oh, that'll be sick. Let's have a look. I wasn't expecting it in the first go. So now what we need to do, okay, so he's not what we want, right? So you destroy the lectern, you place it back down, and he should pick, yeah, there we go, pick it up again. He's changed it. It's still not what we want. And you just keep repeating this process. Now, the difficulty in doing this, particularly in survival mode, power 5, mind you, 57 is quite a lot. The difficulty of it is they'll only change during certain hours of the day. So once those hours are gone, your window is gone. And as such, you want to be as quick as you can with getting this done each day until you get the trade that you want. Now, if you want several different types of trade, you're in luck. You'll get it there a lot quicker. Oh, Depth Strider 3 as well. For me, I'm looking for something very specific. So there's going to be a lot of back and forth of this, which I won't show on camera. But this is how you do it, guys. You keep doing it like this during the right hours of the day until he picks up the profession that you want him to have, or the trade that you want him to have if you're being as specific as I am. So I'm going to keep doing this until we get our Mending Villager, and then we'll come back in and see what the trade is looking like at that point. Well, guys, this right here is just cruel. We got Mending, but they want 32 emeralds. That is too much. I think it needs to be 20 or less for it to be worthwhile me actually keeping this trade. So yeah, we're going to have to keep going with it. Now, one little tip that I thought of while I was doing this, make sure when you're placing down your lectern, it makes sense to just place it exactly where it is you want it to be when your build design is finished. So yeah, just a little thought there. Now, what I'm going to do is keep going at this until we get the right amount of emeralds for the mending book. And once that's done, I'm going to come back and show you how you can make sure you guarantee to keep it as a Mending Villager so it doesn't ever switch trades again, which obviously is quite important if you want to keep this throughout your game, right? We did it, guys. We got a super cool Mending Villager here. It's normally 16 emeralds. Here's another pro tip. Don't hit the villager. I actually hit him when I was breaking this each time. He stood in the way. I hit him. I'm sorry, dude. I am sorry. I'm not too worried because I think once we start trading with him, we can get some of our back into the good book, so to speak. So let me go get some stuff to do some trades right now, and that's how we'll lock this guy in. We'll see if the price goes back down as well. But 16 emeralds is what it will be once I get back in the good book. So that is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so I've loaded up with all of the paper that I have on me, and also all the emeralds that we have. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some trading with this guy. We're going to start with the paper, because obviously we can farm that. So we just as well do that and get the emeralds back, and see if this helps to get back into his good book. So far, doesn't look like it, but I think if we leveled him up, which this one will, that might just do it. No, he's still pretty annoyed at us, I think. But even so, we're going to get a couple of mending books here. I'm just realizing I need to get books. Okay, with books on me, let's try this again. Oh, what else do we get? Smite 4 for 29. It's not great, it's not terrible, and 1 emerald for a lantern. I don't see myself using that, but, you know, that's okay. So let's get our mending books. We get 2 mending books here, which is just awesome. So thank you to you. So it's gone down. It's now 19, right? It was 20. I think it might have been 21 at the start. We'll get him down to the 16 eventually, but we now have our Mending Villager, which is just awesome. Now, you'll see here, if I get rid of this lectern, his job stays, right? So this is how you keep them with whatever job you want. I actually like the idea of him having a lectern in here to keep his notes on all of his blacksmithing stuff. I know the blacksmith and mending, you know, is a little bit of a tenuous link, but I kind of like it. I think it's good. So here he is. He's in here. I'm in 2 minds if to give him a bed or not as well. That's the other thing. But either way, I'm super happy we've got our mending books now, and I can get the mending put on to my elytras. That's the main thing I wanted to use it for. But that's super awesome. And as I say, a price of 16, I'm pretty happy with. Now, actually, we can get that price down even further if we really want to go hardcore, which, you know, I may look to do later on throughout this Let's Play series. But you can turn him into a zombie villager and then cure him, and his trade prices will go down if you do that. So that's definitely a thing. But for now, I think we're happy with what we've got here. So there you have it, guys. A blacksmith built and a mending villager gotten, which is just awesome. Is mending your favorite enchantment, or do you have a different one? Let me know down in the comments. I'd be interested to know what you guys think is the best enchantment you can get from a villager. But for this episode, we've done what we set out to do. And if you enjoyed this episode and want to see more episodes like this, or Minecraft tutorials, which I also do a lot of, please do consider liking and subscribing. For this episode, guys, that is about it. So, as always, I want to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.